So with the smoke in our faces and the fires in our faces, I guess we just couldn't help but come together and discuss what that means for our neighborhood. So Michael Skeels is here as a representative of the fire department. He is an EMT and a former firefighter. Fire marshal.
Investigator.
And so we really appreciate your input in this situation. So the very first thing I want to say is if you see a fire, call 911 immediately, and that is just the bottom line. The next thing that is extremely important is that the fire hydrants in Deschutes River Woods are off limits to any residents. Those fire hydrants can only be operated by the Bend Fire Department, and that is a hard period on that, and that is the mode of operation we are going to move forward with. So I looked up just a couple of, there's a 2018 report by the Deschutes Rural Fire Protection District Number 2, which is essentially the Bend Fire Department. And they listed that wildfire is the single highest risk that our community faces, the community of Bend. And the Bend Fire Department over the last several years has experienced significant increases in their call volume. They are busy. They have realized increases in multiple concurrent incidences, which means they have trucks and ambulances out from multiple stations at multiple events often. And another thing that's really important to realize is that there has been a large increase in the development and the population in the wildland-urban interface. And Deschutes River Woods, our neighborhood, is a perfect example of population and development in the wildland-urban interface. The last thing that I found really interesting on this 2018 report is that the Bend Fire Department's own policy recommendation is to build community resilience in the wildland-urban interface. And so that's what we are here, is the people who are interested in building that resilience. So thank you, everyone. Round of applause for all the people who care about Deschutes River Woods. Thank you so much. Okay, so everyone's time is super valuable. I want to really get to the heart of the issue, and that is the threat we are facing right now. It is dry right now, and watching these other fires explode across the whole West Coast, it just really hits home to me about the threat and the danger. So my first question to the fire department, and Heather, you had some pamphlets regarding this. There are pamphlets regarding this. So Michael, what are immediate and first steps in a 24 to 72 hour from right now type of window that residents of Deschutes River Woods can take to help protect our neighborhood from brush or wildfires? And I'll hand that over to you, please.
Okay, I would like to start out when you leave the property right here tonight going home. I want you to be sure that your address is clear and visible, because the fire department can't help you unless we can find you, or they can find you. I'm speaking as a liaison for the Bend Fire Department. I've been retired from them for 17 years and a resident of Deschutes River Woods since 1990, about 2 months after the Aubrey Hall fire. I've been in fire service for over 40 years. I've seen pretty much all of it, so we need to be able to protect ourselves. But the first thing, when you go home tonight, make sure that that green address sign is up and clear and visible. Okay. 2, when you drive in your driveway, make sure that it's wide enough that we can get in with a large fire apparatus, and make sure that you can get out. Okay, before you do anything else under these conditions, make sure you have your important papers, documents, things like that in a go kit ready in case the sheriff's office blows their high-low siren and says you're in level 1, 2, or 3. 1 is get ready, 2 get set, and 3 means get out of here, okay? So it's very important. We've established a couple of different ways to get out of the woods, and it's improved since 1980 when I first got here. We've got a fire access road south off of Cheyenne that's gated. The fire department has to unlock that. We have Brookswood, we have Rocking Horse Road that comes around, and we have Baker Road, which we only had a 4-way light signal in 1990 when Aubrey Hall came through and stopped at Riverbend Estates. So you're going in there. I want you to be prepared to leave, and then once you have that stuff prepared so that you can leave, I want you to look at the peak of your roof. Okay, and what kind of roof do you have? If it's wood shake, that's not every good thing in the woods. 2, if it's metal or non-combustible, great. Look down at your eaves and your valleys. Get those pine needles out of it. That's topmost priority. Then work outward from there, making sure you've got that clear defensible space back to 30 feet. I'm not asking you to go out with chainsaws and limbing and mowers now. We don't want ignition sources in the woods at this time. Also, we are under regulated closure. There are no fires. There is no smoking. There's no actual even recreational fires in the woods at this time. You can use a gas barbecue on your patio, but don't put it out in the woods, please. So make sure that that area is clean and green as best you can. Then go to your water supply. Make sure all your garden hoses are in really good condition. Make sure that you have enough hose to get to the edges of your property, and then possibly maybe 25 to 50 feet on your neighbor's property, because we're in this together. If you see something going on at your neighbor's, you're the first one. You call 911, you grab your hose, you go for it. Okay, the same way for your neighbor back to you. But make sure your nozzles are on, those hoses are ready, turned off, ready to go. So at a moment's notice, if there's an immediate fire in your area, you can go. It's like an extinguisher. You put the wet stuff on the red stuff right there. And I will add, to help us from a fire investigative standpoint, if you see the fire burning, put out what is burning. Please don't touch the area that's already black. The only way we can catch someone that's individually starting fires or know the cause is for you not to mess up our origin. That's all of us. It's what we teach them in the fire service as well. Wet stuff on the red stuff, not what's already burned. Okay? And most wildfires start cool, and you don't really notice it. They're barely creeping, and then they build exponentially out. And depending on the direction the wind's blowing, that's where it's going. Now, if you make an attack on a fire with your garden hose, please don't put your life at risk. If you can't do it safely by just a small fire like an area between me and the camera here, then it's best that you put down that hose and you leave, making sure 911's been called. If you've got multiple hoses and you can continue attack, or if you have shovels, plaskies, fire tools, great, but don't put your life at risk. If you can't do it safely, don't do it at all. Now, all those things that I told you about your home, that makes it defensible so that the fire department doesn't have to come up and spend their resources on your home. They can actually go put the wet stuff on the red stuff. In other words, actually fight the fire actively. If it gets up and out, then it's going to be a defensive attack, and it's not going to be a good thing. We could lose, properties and stuff. So you need to make sure that you're on it, you're vigilant, you're watching, you smell smoke. We all smell smoke. But if you see the fire, that's when you need to act. 911, make sure that you have things ready to leave if you have to. Do initial fire attack. Okay? So it's up to every one of us. Know where you live, make sure we know how to get to you, and then during the fire danger right now, make sure you have your personal belongings, things ready to go, because you never know. It could happen at any moment from a myriad of different ignition sources. And remember, if there's a train on the tracks, you can't get out this way until they clear either one of these two exits. It's Brookwood and that way. So, and then fortunately we have one of the largest fire breaks, the lava flow to our south, but unfortunately we have a whole lot of ripe, dry fuel between here and there. So each and every one of you do the best you can to keep your homes clear, and call 911 and leave the firefighting, the major firefighting structures, things like that for us.
Can I ask you another question?
Yes.
Here? Okay, so let's say there was a situation where I was using a garden hose to suppress a brush fire on my property. What is the proper course of action for me to take once the Bend Fire Department arrives on the scene?
When the commanding officer or the responding engine gets to your scene, the first one in, he's the incident commander. If he sees you're taking an active role on the fire and you're being successful and not in danger, he may let you continue that operation. But he may come up and say, we have this, and then you get your stuff and get ready to leave if they've called for an evacuation. So that way it's a handoff. You've done the first aid firefighting, they have the big tools, let them do their job. Okay?
All right, here's another one. Okay, so let's say, again, I am in that situation of using a garden hose to initially suppress a brush fire on my 1 acre lot here in Deschutes River Woods. What are the warning signs that I should pay attention to that tells me that I should move back or that I should leave the area?
If you, on your initial use of the fire hose or your garden hose nozzle, if you're not knocking it down, if it doesn't seem to be going down, or if it's crowned a tree, it's already out of your hands. It's time to back off, turn off your hose and leave. And the reason it's very important I'm saying turn off your hose is because we have a very limited water supply. We have a great water supply, but it's limited. It needs to be used to put water on the fire and not just water on the ground, not water on your roof, things like that. We do have representatives from the water department here that will talk to that in a few minutes as well and give you those reasons why on it. But if you see it crowning or you're not making any headway, it's time to back out, get in your rig, and get out safely. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Everyone, there is a sign-up sheet for name and email address. People who are interested in taking the next step with our Deschutes River Woods community and providing that, the community resilience of helping us build that community resilience that I was speaking about. Please make sure your name and email address is on the list, and we are going to unfortunately, we're in the middle of fire season, and it's a funny time to start to begin that resilience, but no time like the present, right? So please make sure to leave information. We are interested in Deschutes Riverwood residents that have pickup trucks, that have water tanks, such as this IBC tote in the white truck here. We are interested in people who are going to be able to set up trash water pump type nozzle systems on this type of a water tank. We're interested in people who can run shovels. Everyone is a shovel runner now. So we're not exactly sure what this is going to evolve into, but we know that this is an important time to build this community group. Did you have a question?
Because I wanted to counter the fire squad for Deschutes River Woods that we're going to be out there, we're going to be really on the game and the fire department can't get out there really quick. And that was the whole point of us doing this fire squad, so we can get out there and jump on it, but we want to be educated at the same time. But I respect this gentleman right here, but at the same time, we want to get out there, we want to protect our homes. And then he's laying down the rules for us to where it's almost making me feared like I need to back off a little bit, you know, with my garden hose. But we really want to just go beyond the law and save each other's homes. So we kind of want to go beyond the law a little bit, break the law a little bit. I don't know what it is, but we're going to save all our homes out here. If this hits a fan, we're going to go beyond the law, and we're all going to jump on someone's home if they make a call on Facebook or whatever. We have our hotline, and we don't care what anybody says. We're going to rescue his house, his house, his house. We're going to jump on it. We're going to put the fire out.
I certainly appreciate what you're saying.
That's what we're going to do. Yeah, but we still want to do the safety procedures though.
I am going to put myself in a position to protect my own 1 acre lot. And if my neighbor needs help, I am going to be there.
Right.
And if his neighbor needs help, the two of us are going to help that person.
Well, I'll risk my life to save my neighbor. I don't know about you, but I will.
But it's also really important that we respect the Bend Fire Department. They are the true professionals, and when they arrive on the scene,
I want to get there first.
And sometimes that can happen, you know. The Bend Fire Department is looking at about a 11-minute and 44-second response time average to rural residences. So
if we're in the station.
If they're in the station. And that brings up other issues, because then there would be let's see, our station is 303.
Yes.
And that station is on
Country Club
Road. Thank you.
What if? You're over there.
Right.
We'll get a jump on it. That's what this whole thing is about.
Right.
We'll get a jump on it.
Let me touch base on it.
Right? What if?
Now, where I started was what you can do right now to protect your home as you leave here. Now, I have been in contact with operations, the Bend Fire Department, half the day. This kind of sprung on them. They're up to their ears in alligators right now, all over the state. However, we do know that we're in America, we got to help ourselves, and so we need to have that backup.
And our neighbors.
That's what I'm saying. You are our neighbors, we are our neighbors. I personally have fire hoses strung all over and a backup generator. I've been practicing this all my life. My home's sprinklered, all that. But each and every one of you are ultimately responsible so that the fire doesn't start in your yard. But if it does, you're going to be on it, but you're calling the backup. They may not be here, so that's where your little pumper trucks and all that, that is absolutely great.
You make the call first.
You make the call first. It's like any emergency, you call 911 first, because they can't get any faster than the first call. So definitely do that.
And we'll be there till you take us out.
Correct, and that's basically what I said, the handoff. When the chief says, okay, we got this, then you can back off, reload, and go.
I like that.
Right, that is the message.
That's permission to wait till you take us off.
Right.
Help our neighbors out.
It's the handoff. That was what he asked. When is it okay for him to drop the hose? And again, I'm
Everybody that we're there for each other.
right. Everyone, we're out looking for everybody's safety. That's we're neighbors. It's the neighborhood association, and this fire squad is here as a backup. I mean, they may be gone somewhere else. I mean, we ship our crews all over the place to help other communities, and we have mutual aid at 21 departments here, plus the feds and the state. But our resources are very low right now.
How do you feel about the guys putting tanks in their truck with the water pumps and the hoses, and then you're wanting us to follow the guidelines? So
No.
Is that okay with you?
That hose and truck to me looks like a garden hose that's mobile that can get over that.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, that's your own.
Until the fire department gets there?
Sure. I mean, you're the initial attack, You're not responding with lights and sirens and all that
We
stuff.
don't want to break laws, but
No, we want to be safe. We want to be able to protect. Now, my contact with the Bend Fire Department, they asked me to liaison today. What they would like to know is what your mission, goals, objectives are going to be. And this is brand new. I mean, 36 hours ago, we were just going, oh my God, Western Oregon burnt.
I can address
Okay.
that right now, some initial
So
operations.
the organization, huh? Absolutely. I'm one of you. I'm right on the edge of the forest from two sides, as well as many of my neighbors. We're the first line if it comes off the forest to the west. So the operations are having a meeting tomorrow morning. They want me to bring back your needs, your suggestions. They want to know how they can better help us, and we want to know how to better help them. So this is the first of many get-togethers or communications to make sure that we're all on the same team. We can't be going in, laying a hose from a hydrant, and then the engine come in, have to shut down a hydrant, or the people trying to evacuate can't drive over that hose, you know, and then somebody shuts a hydrant.
Let the pros come in. We'll-
Absolutely, right.
but until you
Yes,
guys get-
Robin.
we can help our neighbors.
You said that operations is having a meeting tomorrow.
Fire Department operations, that is ODF, Oregon Department of Forestry, we're in dual jurisdiction, Deschutes National Forest, the SO, Sheriff's Office, and the Bend Fire Department, which has the primary responsibility. They are in a meeting tomorrow. They just got word of this morning. I've left messages all weekend. They called me at 7 this morning. They asked me to liaison. I'm not representing them. I've been retired from them 17 years. But I'm a neighbor. We got to do this together, but we got to do it responsibly, keep our head on our shoulders, and do the right thing. Be prepared. That's just a big fire extinguisher. Yep. And do have fire extinguishers. Have your shovels and Pulaskis, rakes, things like that available. But right now, under these prime conditions, do not fire up a chainsaw. Do not run your lawnmower in the dry grass. You know,
And do not be a hero.
right. No heroes.
Okay, so Mike, you're having a meeting, you're gonna be meeting with,
The Bend Fire Department is having a meeting, and we will liaison with them as soon as we get together. They're going to organize in the morning, find out how many people, we get the names, everybody here, to know what the plan is. But right now, the best thing you can do is keep your home prepared, defensible space, get your hoses out there ready, and prepare yourself in the event, because it's not a matter of if, but when. We've had fires here, and we've been very
There was
fortunate.
one last night.
Yeah, yeah. So we need to make darn sure that we're prepared. Go ahead.
So I've been driving around, I've lived here for 20-some years, and a lot of people are keeping their brush up really high around my house. So if you guys really give a damn, grab your weed eater or borrow weed eater or ammonia weed eater, just knock the stuff down right by your house, because right now it's so scary.
30 foot back.
It's terrifying me and my wife right now because we raised our kids since they were little here. Just, I'll loan you a weed eater. I got 3 of them. Just knock your weeds down by your house, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Make some pine needles. I know I get lazy at one time or another, but all that helps just to rake it up. You can haul it to the dump for $12.
Right.
Ooh,
And we have our fire-free
better
programs
leave your
each year
house $12,
for that
you know?
reason. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, Mike.
Yes, Robin.
The reason why I was asking that question, I came out here because I had a concern if the Riverwoods gets, there's a fire up here, then basically we're all stranded back there.
Right.
And as far as I know, there's not a plan. Right to volcanoes, that's very dangerous. There's a river.
There are a couple of things that have to be looked at. The overall plan, the Firewise community, and those pamphlets you have here. There's signs that say evacuation route, but that's only good if the train isn't blocking our tracks. And it depends on where the fire occurs. If the fire's out there in the forest, you're going to evacuate this way. If the fire's here blocking this, coming this way, you're going to have to evacuate out through River Woods. In Aubrey Hall, people had to swim across the river.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Correct.
Some of us who would be
We-
stranded.
We have, you could area refuge to go to the river if you have to, or the lava flow. Get out there where there's no fuel. It's going to be hotter than heck out there, the river, but those are the things. But hopefully that's why we've got people watching. And level 1, prepare. Level 2, get in your rig, and level 3, get out. And they're going to hopefully try, you know, to make sure that they give you those orders long before you're in danger.
Okay, so I'll say one more thing.
Hold on. Excuse me. We can't hear the questions.
Come here and tell us the question.
Be nice.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I was just saying it'd be nice to see this group, as far as the way it's organized, to also address the problems of if some of us, because it could very easily happen, get stranded. And what are the resources that we can do as far as going over the volcano? What things do we have to think about? What should we take, like maybe wet towels? I mean, I don't know. If we have to cross the river, where's the best place to cross the river? But I think that's a very real possibility that people could get stranded.
So you heard the concerns of people getting stranded. We're fortunate we do have the lava flow, we do have the river. However, in Aubrey Hall, it did jump the river. Okay, so you have, but the big thing is, you turn on your radios. Also, have all your phones set to receive Deschutes County alerts. And on that note, I want to make sure that everyone knows, if you have a cell phone with an out-of-area code, you need to specifically tell dispatch where you are, because they cannot tell necessarily, they don't have enough information with the out-of-state, out-of-area codes that we all have now. They don't have that good data. It might ping on where you're at, but give them as much information as you can. But again, you have an alternate area. You have an area of rescue refuge out there in the lava flow possibly, but really we want you out of here before that. The sheriff's going to be knocking on doors, the high-low siren, and they're going to be telling you it's time to leave, and heed that. 1, get ready. 2, get set, and 3, go. Okay?
Maybe put on your passports.
Well, generally the siren that we used many years ago, and I'm going to say the only time we used it was the British high-low siren. But I'm not going to say that they even know that anymore, because I've been out of it 17 years. But they're going to knock and talk, and they're going to push the emergency alert system and alert you by your cell phone. So get your phones registered so they know that they're getting that message out to you. It's by zip code, by area, and please go on to Deschutes County's 911's website and get that. Yes, ma'am.
I lost my house in the 2018 Camp Fire, and I was going to share a couple things with everybody.
Would you like to?
I don't know if can I use your mic?
Would you like to?
No, the microphone is only allowed for 2 people.
Oh, okay. Well,
Convention regulations are
okay.
code.
You guys, I lost our house in the Camp Fire. November will be 2 years. And I just want to tell you a few things. This is a lot like Paradise. And when he's saying, go Google reverse 911 and sign up. It's really easy to do. We got evacuated way too late. If there's winds and low humidity, I heard people saying with a hose, you know what happened with Paradise? The whole water system failed because it all burned. Anyone who stayed would have died. We lost 85 people. Our issue here in Bend is like Paradise with the escape routes. We got notified at 8:30, we did, and to go 12 miles took me 6 hours, and I knew I was gonna die. That is your biggest issue. Have a to-go bag ready, and if you get the evacuation notice, if you get one, you do not have, people picked up waffle makers that didn't work. You know, you can't think, and you have a very short time. Have a to-go bag, and get get out quick. I know we all want our house. I love my house. We had stayed, we got out with our 2 dogs, a cat, and 2 shirts.
Can I make a suggestion? Really hard to hear the other people other than you. If someone's going to say something, maybe give them the mic or let them step up.
They won't let her have
That's
the
not
mic
an
because
option right now.
Unfortunately, the government regulations on COVID were.
We can't.
If we can all come up a little closer, I'd love to hear her story.
Well,
She's
I'm
really
within 6 feet.
educational right now.
I'm not going to take this meeting over. I'm just going to tell you something else. Every one of you that is a renter, get renter's insurance. It's cheap.
I would like to really encourage you to share your story on the Deschutes River Woods community page
Okay.
and also on the Fire Squad page. I would like to just take this chance to really redirect our focus. We are here to discuss the Deschutes River Woods Fire Squad and what that means and the people who are going to be involved in that. And so to me, the Fire Squad is going to be a group of Deschutes River Woods residents that are going to be able to perform initial fire suppression on local brush fires or wildfires as individuals, small groups, and large groups until the Bend Fire Department arrives. Then at that point in time, we will monitor for wind-blown embers at a safe distance because we will be equipped with the the garden hose on steroids, as we might call these totes with the water
Now,
pumps.
who's going to get trained for this? Since you're making it really hardcore, who's going to get trained to be in this group of the squad?
That's what we're here to figure out. We're here
figure it
to
out. So
begin the
CPR
process
training,
of forming the
CPR
group
training,
and
or-
determining how we're going to make that happen.
Okay.
Then we would like to
Serious.
also
Serious, too.
figure out a patrol type of operation out on China Hat Road, where there is probably a 3 or 4 mile loop that we could perform on the dirt roads closest to town on China Hat Road that would cover 90% or more of the encampments that are really causing a lot of concern for people for good reason. So again, please, people who are interested in being able to run a fire hose from their truck or having a trailer that can carry one of these totes or other interests in being part of the fire squad, this sign up list and joining the Deschutes River Woods Fire Squad page is going to be our first step to forming this up. My apologies that this was not set up 2.5 or 3 months ago. I wish I could have planned ahead that far, but we will move forward from here. The water company, would you please, would you like to introduce yourselves and say a few things? Agate Water, I am so impressed with the quality of Agate Water. Best water in the state, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you. Yes, I
I won't touch it, I promise.
All you need to speak.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Tiffany. Can you hear me now? I didn't want to touch it. If anybody's ever called the office, I'm probably the one that you've spoken with. And Mike and was it Jeff? Jeff pretty much has already covered what we wanted to share with everybody. But the main thing is, as a water company, we need to protect our water resource. And it was kind of alarming to hear that a lot of people wanted to take it upon themselves to open up hydrants. We're all for fire suppression. However, it's very, very important, and I'm going to, reiterate that again, that it's left to Agate Water or the fire department to do that. The biggest concern is it not getting opened or shut properly, and it can create water hammer. That in itself can create issues with our main lines. It can cause broken main lines. It can cause bodily harm if something was to blow back in your face. So that's kind of where we're at as a water company. Please, please, please don't mess with the fire hydrants. They actually are property of Agate Water. However, with that said, we are more than willing to help everyone fill up their tanks if they have any, you know, free of charge. We're not going to charge for it. So, but you do need to contact the office so that we can create a timeline to do that. Hopefully we can get more than, you know, 1 or 2 here and there, because, you know, at the office we're just a family run company. There's a few of us. This week in particular is meter reading, and now that you're all here, we may end up estimating this week because of the fire, you know, the smoke in the air. So in the very near future, if anybody's interested in having a tank filled, we can certainly help you out with that. We will be the ones, you know, operating the fire hydrants. And the other thing I wanted to point out, about a month ago, we have meters up at the pit, and we also have an easement up at the pit. If you all know where the pit is, off of the end of Cinderview, they have, gosh, probably, what'd you say, about 100?
Yeah, 100.
Probably 100 or so of those tanks that they wanted out of there. So for, you know, just to get rid of them, they're trying to clean up their space. So we thought that might be a great resource for some of you that want a tank. Contact the pit. They'd be more than happy to get them out of there. And also, you know, everybody's more than welcome, and those little tanks are only 275 gallons. That's not much. If you decided to fill it up off your own garden hose, it's going to probably cost you less than $1 for that amount of water. So if that's a concern for anybody, you know, you want to get involved but you don't have a lot of money, we can either fill it up for you or you can do it yourself with a garden hose. You know, we have plenty of resource out here for everyday water use, irrigation, and whatnot. If there was a major fire, I guess the biggest thing would be, you know, do what you can to protect your property. When you run out of those resources, you know, like I said, again, don't touch the fire hydrants. We will fill you up. Just let us know, because we're all concerned. You know, this is a family company. It's been in the same family since 1980. Right now he's 3rd generation, and we're here for everybody. He lived through the Aubrey Hall fire when his grandpa was alive and was running the company, so he definitely, you know, has the same concerns. We all have the same concerns. We have to protect our community.
I'd say our biggest concern is not depleting the resources that we have at hand. We don't want to deplete our resources whatsoever, and that's why we wanted to leave it up to the fire department and or us for operating the hydrants and filling your tanks and whatnot, because if a mainline break was to happen during a fire, that resource is no longer available for the fire department to be able to put out the water, and it's no longer available to the customers to get which water or what water you would need in that event to bug out or whatever when you're getting evacuated. So just keep that in mind, that the resources is the most important thing of this whole thing. So I lost my train of thought. Great. I hate it when that happens. No, we're not. So that is the biggest thing, is to be mindful of the resources and the people that, you know, us that have to come out and either fix a mainline break and or we will be out here helping in the event of a fire as well, because, well, we have to keep water flowing to you people and to make sure your homes don't burn. So
has that ever happened that somebody's messed with the hydrants? Oh, really?
Yeah.
we have had people tamper with our hydrants. Actually, within the last month, we caught people tampering with our hydrants. We posted on our Facebook page about it and whatnot, and it is a thing. And if something was to break, that would just be catastrophic to have an emergency, because our main lines for that are 8-inch to 10-inch to 12-inch main lines. They're all fed off of a 550,000 gallon water reservoir up on top of the pit. A 12-inch main line starts to burst, that's 800 plus gallons a minute coming out of there. That tank's going to get drained really fast, and we don't necessarily want to be able to shut it off, because then we can't fill it either. And so we'd have to be able to come in and make the repair while that's happening, or in worst case scenario, if everybody gets evacuated, well then, you know, that's where we're at with that. The fire department will be in charge of, you know, the hydrants as well during those times. Can't think anything else I want to add in there. Can you?
Oh yeah, one other thing.
Yeah.
Another concern, well, it's kind of close to me because I'm originally from Malala, and so from over here I'm watching my hometown burn. And I've noticed a lot of people talk about, you know, they bailed and they left their water running on their roofs or in their, you know, in their lawn, and they think they're doing the right thing. And obviously, if you don't really think about it, that's the first thing you want to do is just soak everything down, you know, to keep the fire from spreading. But in this instance, if that was to happen here, please, please, please turn off all your water, because like I said, it'll drain our tank.
We need that resource.
So that's another thing to be mindful of.
As well as everybody here, you guys need that resource. You need the water, you know.
Yeah, if you're not actively fighting like a small, because obviously when it gets big and it's a wall of flames, your tanks aren't going to do any good. But if there's a spot fire and it's near your home and you've got your tanks in your truck, that's going to help to, you know, keep it from spreading. But other than that, you know, if you have to evacuate, just make sure if you can to shut off everything, and that will definitely help save that water for the fire department, and help save the system as well, because we want to keep all of you with water. We don't want anybody running out of water. So
Shut it off at the meter or just in our homes?
Just make sure, not your meter, just make sure you don't leave like your garden hoses running, your frost-free hydrants running, anything like that, even in your house too. Because sometimes people might panic and be like, oh, I left the sink running, you know. Any type of water that's left running, just try and be mindful to, you know, to turn it off. You know, I know there's going to be a lot of things on your mind if that point happens, but that will definitely help protect our resources here. So.
Cheers.
Did you have any other questions? I mean, everybody's pretty much touched on, they've already touched on what we really wanted to talk about, but just from a, you know, from the water company point of view.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And you know, we're here with you. We're all part of this community. You know, I've lived out here before. I lived out here for 10 years, and we're not just a business. We're all family. You know, and we're a community, and we care about every single one of you. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Well, it'll be off. So if the power goes out, what will happen is it'll feed off of hydraulics off of our tank. That's the only backup we have, and that's how the fire system was designed, to feed off of hydraulics. Unfortunately, we don't have backup generators. That is something we're looking into. That way, in the case of a natural catastrophe or any catastrophe where we lose power up to X amount of days or whatever, then we're good to go. We can fire a generator up and still be able to pump water. That's in the near future that we're working on that, but as of right now, it's just hydraulics. So if power goes out, unfortunately, our pumps are out, and then we have 550,000 gallons in reserve up on the hill, which will feed the rest of the system. So. Yeah. Anything else?
I covered it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, it is definitely time to start the process of wrapping this up. So our work list for the fire squad and people who want to be participating in the fire squad, we are going to, through the email list and through the Deschutes Riverwoods Fire Squad Facebook page, we are looking for people to contribute information about what resources they are going to bring to the table and contribute. We are looking for information about what might be the most effective way for us to contact each other once a brush fire or a wildfire is observed. You know, swift action is going to be really important to catch these things when they are tiny. Then we maybe need to address what could be the most effective ways to stay in contact with each other once we are working on suppressing a brush fire. We need to discuss water sources. Wow, Agate is willing to fill up water tanks for us. That is a huge bonus. And, you know, maybe we could get, yes, thank you, Agate. Wow. And, you know, maybe at the beginning of the fire season, we could have a get-together where everyone fills up their tanks at the beginning of the year, and it would be a really fun neighborhood event. I'm also interested as far as resources that people can contribute. People with above-ground or regular pools. These could be great fill-up spots. We will eventually want to have a map of what people with what resources are located in what parts of the woods. So, you know, our tender trucks, our makeshift IBC tote trucks here can have places that can go and refill if needed. Let's see, and Yeah, so let's see. This about covers what I was wanting to discuss today, and with the smoke in the air is not as strong as it has been, but I definitely want to be sensitive in a time nature. Yeah, let's take a couple of short questions. Okay, if you have a hot tub, that will hold enough water. These water tender trucks that we're creating are going to have this IBC tote. IBC tote, that's right. Okay. They're about 275 gallons. In addition to that tote, there is what is called a trash pump or a water pump that pumps out of the tank, out of the white tank, and into a hose with a fire nozzle. That exact pump can have its intake placed in your hot tub or in your pool, and so the filling process could go extraordinarily quickly. So yes, hot tubs, above ground pools. When things get critical, we are going to be so glad to have any source of water, and anyone on the team, anyone and everyone, please join the fire squad team. Even if you just have motivational support, that is appreciated. Personally, I am developing my own pickup truck with the IBC tote. I just ordered a 2-inch trash pump with a 2-inch intake and a 2-inch fire hose and a 2-inch nozzle on Amazon. It was $380, and then we just found out that the gravel pit has IBC totes that they're giving away. This is a miracle, people. Okay, so I am personally looking at a $380 investment to have a mobile fire suppression truck, and I hope many other people are interested in making that kind of investment in our neighborhood. Cleanup. Deschutes Riverwoods Neighborhood Association, would you like to speak for just a couple of moments about cleanup opportunities on outside of the fire season and what's happening with that?
Can I say something on your point? A trash pump, is that the right piece of equipment? It's about pressure.
All right, you need something that'll put about at least 50 to 75 pounds and also pressure up.
Volume, but it won't make pressure.
Well, I'm putting it together, and I'll show you a video of how it goes, and if it doesn't work, that's the beauty of Amazon, is I'll send the thing back.
I wanted to point it out because we're getting the message out of it.
You need a pressure pump, not a volume pump.
I've seen YouTube videos with the pressure pump that run the fire hose.
Yes.
With the trash pump that runs the fire hose.
Yep.
Okay, Neighborhood Association. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to see everybody here. My gosh, it's wonderful. Twice a year we do an Adopt a Road cleanup. We didn't do it this year in April because of COVID. And what we do is we go along, we get trash bags from the road department, and we pick up all the trash. We don't clean up pine needles and that sort. But it would be great if everybody took the front of their road frontage and got rid of the pine needles and the pine cones from the road 20 feet in. That would be really helpful, because I'll tell you what, when we're picking up trash, you should see the cigarette butts, and it just scares the bejesus out of me. And in October we're going to do another cleanup, and we do Riverwoods and Baker from start to finish. So I'll be posting on the community page when, and we always meet here, and it takes a couple hours, and the more people we have, the less time it takes. And but in the meantime, if everybody could just do their frontage, that would be awesome. Thanks.
All right, thanks everyone. Mr. Skeels, any other points?
Just remember, when you go home, make sure that you know what your address is. Your home can't be a mystery to find. Make sure you have access, egress, and then take it upon yourself to make your place a fire-free or a fire-defensible home. And remember, pack up your gear, get it ready in case the sheriff's office initiates an evacuation. Go ahead and get your phones programmed so you're getting emergency alerts. But keep your eyes and ears open because you may be the one reporting that fire. 911. Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone. I'm looking forward to working with you, and let's get through this fire season without any issues. That's our goal. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Jeff.